what is Figaf DevOps tool? It is a tool to help you automate and manage your SAP integration. It's about testing, it's about transporting, it's Git, versioning, all of these different things, and to make it easier for you to manage in one out-of-the-box solution. So let's get started. First off, here we have the tool. And normally whenever you're developing new integrations, you want to have a reason to make a change. That would be the business that requests you to make a modifications. To do that, we will go to our iFlow here. We will make a modification on this. We will add a new header here, that is DevOps demo. We will save it as a new version and we will deploy it. And we can then click here to synchronize it, which will then take us back to the Figaf tool, where Figaf will now have a new version of this one. And it will take a few seconds for it. So once it's done, we now have a new revision of this. We can select the iFlow, we can check versions, and here we can see what we have actually done of these things. So we can check compare here. We can see that there was a change over here. And obviously you need a fairly big screen to be able to see these things. And if we scroll down here, we can see that there was a demo that was changed. So that's all good. So now we have done our development that we think was enough. We want also obviously to test it, and we want to have a way around our transport process. So to do that, we will create a new ticket. We will select the landscape that we will be using for this. And we have a number of different transports. I will be using this one. And here you would link it with the Jira service now, or whatever you have of ticketing system to allow you to understand what the business have asked for. So now we have the ticket here. We can select all the dependent objects that's a part of this. We can look up the different test cases we have, and I have one here that I just created, and we will save it, and we can then run it in the context of this ticket. So that means everything is documented as a part of the ticket. We can then select here, we can view the results, and now we will see what this looks like. So now the testing is done. We can see that there is one error here, and if we look at the diff here, we can see that it is a payload that was changed. So that is what we expected it to be. So now we need to update the test cases. That would normally be a pretty challenging task. We can now just click update, and now we have a new test that would allow us to actually run this as a part of our ticket and documenting what is going on. Now we want to create a transport, making it easy for us to transport. And as a part of this, we can also see there's a script collection being used here that is added to our transport. We can see the artifacts that has been used here. Some of these names, host names, has been automatically changed, and that is really useful for S4 host names between the environments. And you can obviously go in and overwrite some of these ones if you want to on the landscape level. So we'll save it here, we'll go back, and then we can send it to approval. When you send it to approval, you can define who should approve such a transport. We can approve it or reject it, and you can obviously define on the landscape who can approve these things. We'll approve it, say OK, and now we can select import, and this will then import the artifacts on the QA system. Notice in this case we are reusing the dev system also for QA, which means we would have a fully governed process even if we're reusing objects, and then you can in the CPI also add rules that says, hey, if an artifact starts with /QA, you're not allowed to modify it. So now we have imported everything. We can go in and we can compare objects using our models and see what is wrong or difference between these artifacts. This was to show you how easy it is to actually monitor your integration and understand what is going on with transport, and then you have a lot of documentation around this. So one of them could be this report here, where we can go in and we can see these artifacts that we have. and if they are in different versions in our productive system, etc. So I think it's this one. We can see it is in this version. Here in production we have a lower version, so this is definitely something we need to move into our productive tenant. We can see if we forgot to deploy a specific version. All of this just makes it a lot easier for you to manage the integration. It is really easy to get started. There's a lot of guides on getting started. That's a free trial, so just go to figaf.com and get started.